Marriage is a sacred institution, often conferring honor and responsibility on those partaking in it.
Now, in many ways, it is also widely assumed that those who get married are mature enough to understand the enormous responsibilities that come with married life. But the rate of divorce in society today has left many unable to put a finger on the changing dynamics of the African environment, where staying married against the odds was once a treasured value.
Theophilus Elema reports.
Yeah.
Marriage, matrimony or wedlock. It's a subject that does not seem to have one best way to make the most of it. In Nigeria alone, several marriages are contracted annually within the traditionally accepted bonds of a man and wife or wives. But in recent years, the number of dissolved marriages has become a cause of worry.
Marriage is about making sacrifices. If you are not ready to make sacrifice, then you are not ready for marriage, and it's a lot of work and it's hard work. So if you are not ready to do the work that marriage entails, it's one of the reasons why divorce is inevitable or it's on the increasing side.
There must be genuine love at that foundation of that marriage, not the glamorous things we are having today. I have cars, I have houses, I have big career, I have fat bank accounts, I live in Ikoyi, I live in Banana Island, and if you don't have all these things, or even some people are looking at beauty.
In many cases, the need to balance interest coming from children, in-laws, and the dynamics of an increasingly demanding work-centered society is at the heart of issues confronting today's couple. Several high-profile marriages have had to bear with the demand of popular expectations, not least due to the influence of social media.
So it's not a walk in the park, but it's something you've got to be deliberate about. Deliberate about both being a successful career woman and a happily married woman. You've got to be deliberate about planning, what do I need to do to juggle both balls and ensure that none drops. Now, some balls will certainly drop, but the important thing is ensuring that the important balls do not drop.
All right, joining me now is a marriage counselor and life coach. She is also an author of Marriage or Mirage, Morolayo Owoputi. It's nice to have you join me right now.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now, if we have to make comparison between the last few decades of 30, 40 years ago and now, a lot of things have changed. But in marriage, what has really changed? The way people approach it and the way people value it and the way people see it, the perception of marriage. What has really changed?
I would say that what has changed is that people have lost the understanding or the in-depth meaning of what marriage is all about. Quite a number of people go into the institution without understanding the principles that sustain great marriages. You see that many young people just want to go into it probably for the pleasure they are going to derive for, you know, the society or societal acknowledgement that, oh, you are married, but do they know what it entails to be married, and are they ready to do the work that marriage entails? Because honestly, marriage is hard work. It's doing your own work and doing it with all hard work. So a lot has changed, truly. And the illustration I usually give about marriage is two people going to a particular destination. It's like driving a car from Lagos to Abuja. And on the way, you've refused to obey the traffic rules. You don't want to comply with the road regulations. You just want to do it the way you think is best to do it. So when you see a sign saying do not take one way, you want to take one way, then one can easily predict that accident is bound to happen.
It's inevitable.
Yeah, so that is why you see some marriages today, with the way things are done in that marriage, you can predict that divorce is inevitable. It's because one party has chosen to do things the way they think is best.
In this choice to do things the way because I have the right, everyone has a right to do whatever he or she wants to do, so you decided to do it that way. Is this a product of knowledge? Is it a product of westernization? Is it the product of, what are those real ingredients that has, you know, made marriage to metamorphose into what we have right now?
Well, one of the reasons I think could be the fact that we don't have enough knowledge out there on what it really takes to keep a marriage. People just tell you, oh, you're old enough.
Where should you get the knowledge from? Where should an average person get the knowledge from?
Okay, so I believe that you can observe, you can learn through observation, you can learn by reading, you can learn through making researches, or even trying to find out what marriage is all about. I mean, there are resources out there. Then you can observe from people who have been married ahead of you how they do things, and the one that the marriages that did not work, what was it they were doing that led them to this?
Yeah, but sometimes you don't have access to all the information, all the ingredients that led to this marriage being successful or this marriage being disastrous or being in disaster, as the case may be. But you wrote a book, Marriage or Mirage.
Yeah.
Can you talk to us about it? What is it trying to address, and what are the issues in
Okay,
it?
so what Marriage or Mirage book is trying to address is to cut back on the increasing rate of divorce, separation, murder cases in marriages, and basically it's trying to say that for two people to come together in marriage, it means that the purpose or the goal they intend to achieve is for both of them to experience mutual fulfillment in that marriage. So marriage is meant to be mutually fulfilling and beneficial for both parties. But you have a mirage when both parties are not willing to commit to what will get them to that goal.
Your book here is talking about marriage or mirages. You say there are many mirages rather than marriages. Tell us more.
Okay, so it says marriage or mirage. And it also says too many mirages but very few marriages. What that means is that mirage simply means it looks like the real thing,
but not exactly.
But it's not exactly the real thing. It lacks the substance that marriage should have. So we are saying that out there, it's like, oh, so many people are married, but are they doing marriage the way it's meant to be done? Can we truly say this is an ideal marriage? And
for you, people are not going by entering marriage with the right concept. But what I've also noticed is that many people actually are in love or could be in love, but the challenge is staying in love upon marriage. So what do you advise?
Yeah, so at the beginning, falling in love is very easy because it's like attraction. Two people see each other, we are attracted, and it's like, oh, we want to spend the rest of our lives together. But as time goes on, reality sets in, things happen, even economic pressures, so many other factors, in-laws, so many other factors will set in, and before they know it, they start falling out of love. But the honest truth is, if you know what you're going into, if you understand that the institution of marriage is actually meant to be a permanent one, then you must learn how to make love happen.
So this is deliberate. So what deliberate steps now do you advocate?
Okay, so for example, to continue to make love happen, one of the things you need to do or you need to understand is that the spouse you are married to is also a complete human being. So the fact that the woman is female does not mean she's less than the man. She is also a complete human being and she should be treated like one. So when it's talked about equality in marriage, it's not saying the woman should become the man or the man should become the woman. It's simply saying that let's treat ourselves as human beings. If rest is good for you as the man, then rest is also good for me as the woman. If financial security is good for you as the man, then it's
Same
also
applies.
yeah. So it shouldn't be one-sided. You know, so we are simply saying that you can deliberately make love happen by paying attention to the things that matter.
You have to pinpoint or itemize some of the reasons why there are divorce or the increasing rate of divorce. What would you say are some of the reasons?
One of the reasons is that people go into marriage these days wanting to enjoy the benefit of marriage without embracing the work and responsibilities that come with it. So when they get in there, they go in with the mindset of
what to get,
what to get, yes, not knowing that it entails a lot of giving, a lot of sacrifice. In fact, at some point you will ask yourself, did I ever bargain or plan for this? Because the demands are on the increase, and considering the kind of economy we find ourselves in, where you find out that people have to generate their electricity by themselves, you get your you dig your borehole and get your water provision by yourself, pay for your children's education by yourself. It's just like a whole family economy, you know, that you have to,
by yourself.
I'm telling you.
Pressure.
So in that kind of a situation, you can't have one party in the marriage saying, oh, I just want to sit down there and be a dormant partner. I always tell people, dormant partner does not exist in marriage. Sleeping or dormant partner is found in the boardroom, not in marriage. You both of you must be active.
All right, but let's look at it a little practical. In the West, you find people now who are choosing not to get married, just to remain single for life is their choice. In the African continent, the dynamics are different because of our history and maybe religion or maybe culture and all of that. But would you advise anyone who wishes, as a coach, anyone who wishes to be single to remain single?
Well, it depends.
It depends on what?
Okay, so I don't believe in mounting pressure on people to get married if they want to be single. I think that it's very important for the person to come to a realization that I think I'm matured enough for this venture or this adventure. If the person feels that they are not mature enough, there is no point encouraging him or her to go into the union, because honestly, marriage is a serious business and you must not go into it casually or because society is pressurizing you, you know, into engaging yourself in one. So,
all right, there's the talk about the issue of people who are meant to get mature, because you need to be mature. A mature man and a woman, not necessarily in age, but of mind and psychology before you get into marriage.
Exactly.
Now, sometimes the society doesn't prepare you. The primary preparation comes from the parents. Do you think parents are preparing their children enough, both the female and male, for that?
I think that parents have more work to do on the male child.
Why is that?
Because I think that many of our male partners can hardly do some basic things these days.
Like
so
what?
For example, you see a man saying, oh, I can't do domestic work, I can't assist in doing the domestic work. You find some men that cannot cook. But the honest truth is, in the day-to-day activity of your marriage, a situation may arise where you need to be the one to cook. In that case, are you going to just stay hungry or decide that you want to keep eating?
But the window now is to get a help. A lot of people get house helps and all of that.
But the question is, how many people can afford it? I know quite a number of people can afford that, but some people cannot afford it. So it's always important for you to be supportive as a spouse, and try as much as possible to meet your spouse halfway. Be useful, be helpful. Don't leave the work to just one person alone.
All right. Certainly, these are advice that a lot of people need to take.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for coming on the program
You're
today.
welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.